Hello. Hi everybody. I think the first thing maybe to recognise and to say here is look around you. I mean, we've had a bit of a tit for tat and this and that there already. But look around you, there's people here's travelled 4 hours from Cork here today. No reason other than to look for solutions and to listen and to talk and to come up with ideas and come together as together, whatever that case may be. Who knows what that case may be, but that's what we're here to do. And I think it's important to keep that in mind. We're here as people trying to make a difference, and that's very, very important. And the more I think, the more we talk about this, the more we listen, and the more we see here today, things could really change. And I believe it, because there are people here who can make a difference. I really do believe that as well. So the One Year Initiative, the way-1YI, what's it all about? What it's not about is, it's not related to any political party at all, any political association at all. It's an idea to bring people together. People, irrespective of their political views, where they are in the political spectrum, it doesn't matter. This is about bringing people together. And it's a way of, hopefully when we go through this year, people will actually see the benefits of that. How many people can relate to this? Vote for nobody. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps their election promises. Nobody cares. The political system, there's no accountability at all. You know what I mean? Before they come in, they say here you are, you're elected, they give you all the promises, you're elected, and then what happens? Nothing for the next 4 to 5 years. They're untouchable. They really are untouchable. And there's no accountability there whatsoever. It's a political system in itself and how it's set up. It's broken. It's corrupt. We all know it. I mean, it's broken and it's corrupt, and everyone knows what it is. And when I looked into it, these are all the manifestos from the main parties from 2011, and they all say the same thing, believe it or not. The cronyism, there's corruption, everybody is saying the exact same thing. The One Year Initiative is simply saying, as an idea, we'll not listen to politicians no more. We can make a difference as people, and it's a way of bringing people together under one thing and to do one thing. I'll just flick through to what that is. For instance, here, it's coming together and saying, why not have a referendum to put people-initiated referendums back into the Constitution? Now, when I say people-initiated referendums, what I'm talking about is the water charges, for instance. Rather than us having to wait on the government to call a referendum on it, or we protest and nothing happens, why could it not be that you or I go out, get enough signatures, and create a petition there, and it's in the Constitution that say that if these signatures are created and this petition is signed, we automatically, under law or under the Constitution, have a referendum and allow the people to decide what the actions are. That's basically where I would see things, is if we just had that one step. And what I'm saying is, it's not actually the be-all and end-all. This is not going to sort out Ireland in any shape or form. But what it will do is, it's a vehicle just to start that one piece of reform. And if we had that one piece of reform into the system, well then we can start having referendums on other things. Again, you could have a recall in there also. And these are sorts of things that could actually happen. And it's not even that they're new. They actually happen now. I mean, we're not talking about reinventing the wheel here. These are things that has worked in other countries. It's working in Switzerland at a much, much, much bigger scale. You know what I mean? So that would be the idea. I'm not really going into the details because this is more of what we've been showing around the different campaign meetings itself. But really, it's about local people getting together in the local communities and holding their local candidates to account and asking them to do something different. And some candidates, as I say, some of the groups have actually been saying that before these parties come out and start canvassing around, they're going to go around before them, and they're going to say, when these people all come along, make sure you ask them, have they signed the One Year Initiative or the 1 Year Declaration? Because if they haven't, good luck. You don't want to give the power back to the people, so enough's enough. Yeah, that's what I've got to say.
The person elected is on the 1 Year Initiative, and he fails, you're saying the system of recall. What happens to accountability? Now, if he resigns, is there another election or does he continue on? Because that has to be in the contract.
It's open, it's a bit weak in the sense that it can be manipulated by the people who vote generally in this country. It's usually the middle class and upper classes who vote for a system that supports them at every hand's turn. So they would start creating people's initiatives for things that would back up what they want. We say, i.e. tax breaks or whatever for the rich. The people who are underprivileged in this country are ones that don't engage in the political. It's a nice idea, but recall would be better and more power to the local politicians. And what we actually need to do is actually reform, or rewrite the Constitution and give us the republic that we didn't achieve in 16. The guest stayed with me for 3 days here a week ago. She's from Bern and lives in Bern, and I asked her about the direct democracy in Switzerland and how does it work, and she says it doesn't. They have referendums, and they says, yes, that's grand, we'll take note of that, and we put it on the table.
Possibly are usually the people with all the money, so they can campaign, pump money into campaigns. So there's one lot left behind because they don't have the funds and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's what if that's similar to the point that Jimmy was making, but we need a way to overcome that.
It all boils down to all our problems are actually caused by the fact that we have no say. We have no control of the government, as I say, no accountability, no nothing like this. And that is the only part we need to change. The way-1YI initiative is fantastic, but I would dare to say that it doesn't actually go far enough.
Correct.
We should have public assemblies, yeah, in the form of open public forums like this, in every town and parish in the country. And the important thing is that in these public forums, we should have these to formulate policy. Right. The people and nobody else form the policy.
Now, me also with the referendum. Now, it's qualifying and dandy petitions and all this. 1 million people signed a European initiative. I won't go into details, but they signed that. Thump. It was handed over to the Parliament. In the bin. They couldn't care less. What's to stop, say, this comes into Ireland? What's to stop the Catholic Church coming out and reintroducing divorce? Throwing money at it, just like Proposition 8 abroad in California. There's absolutely no safeguards against these things in these proposals. To be honest with you, I could not see just vague notions being picked out of the air and shoved into Bunrock in the head like it was the back of a fucking beer mat. This idea needs to be spread out, it needs to be beefed out with facts and to make it people to see that it's not just a lunatic fringe idea, but it can be workable with a bit of sense and with a bit of beef.
We were reckoning that maybe possibly you could bring in an amendment to the 1 year initiative where you could call on a vote of no confidence as well in the government with a certain amount of signatures that could lead to a general election. Because if, like we've said, that they don't have to sign, or they might sign this thing but it's not a legal agreement, that they may just turn it back. So like Pat Radley said, as you were talking about earlier on, you know, we all say that in the election so we can do what we like. We already seen Enda Kenny in the previous, I signed a contract for Ireland for a better Ireland, and he just reneged on it completely. So firstly, can you amend, or is there any way of amending it to bring in that a general election can be called through a vote of no confidence, and can you make it an actual legal document? Can you make it legal so if they sign it they have to stand over it?
Isn't. This is here to be picked apart as we're doing, and new ideas put back into it. Like, this isn't written in stone. It's, you know, what I think it is a great reference point to start off from. You know, the reason that the people are in this room that are here is because they're involved in everything. They're working their asses off. And this is the type of room we want to be sitting in with the minds that's in this room. You know, and this is what this is for. Like, nobody's selling you anything. Nobody wants to sell you anything. We want you, you know what I mean? We want to be part of tables when we move around that go, Jesus Christ, that's a great idea. Like, Mark, what you just touched on there, you're right. Like I said to myself, what happens if they refuse? You know, well, Mark's very upfront about it. Well, there's not a lot we can do. Well, that's why we're here. Well, what can we do then? You know what I mean? Do we, when they sign up to it, if they break that contract with us, do we march on them? You know, like you do, right, on, down to their offices and sit in their clinics, and we make their life hell, so as they can't move on our streets anymore, like, can they? You know, and this is what we're doing. This is all we want. Nobody's selling shit here. You know what I mean?
Ways of looking at this. I just think you just need to be very credible on this thing, because if you're not, then it'll be blown out of the water, and the whole movement becomes real. Oh, by the way, sorry, just the final point, and we mentioned this earlier on, I agree with Jimmy over there. The Constitution was developed, well, this isn't what Jimmy said, but it was developed around property rights. How is this going to impact on that? What we really need is a redrawing of a constitution. It's not the amend the existing one that we have.
Exactly.
It's a new constitution.